What happened to the ancient cliff dwellers of America? From roughly 600 to 1400 AD, the American Southwest was littered with groups of people surviving in some of the harshest conditions on the continent. People such as the Puebloans in Colorado, the Mogollon from New Mexico, or the most preserved example, the Sinagua of Arizona. Nestled within the arms of towering cliffs and across the rugged landscapes, these groups left the remnants of ancient societies. Monuments in stone carved into the vertical world, turning unforgiving terrains into bustling centers of life and culture, giving us glimpses into a time before pre-Columbian history, and then, one day, and without explanation, vanished from the timelines of history. This is the tale of the cliff dwellers of America. This is a story of what they left behind.
So we're here at Montezuma's Castle near Camp Verde, Arizona. We have made it 0.1 miles and the dogs have pooped 4 times. Got that heat poop going.
The year is 1100 AD, a time when many corners of the world are just beginning to write their histories in stone and saga. Far from the budding cities of Europe and Asia, in what is now the southwestern United States, the Sinagua people are carving out a life amidst the rugged deserts of Arizona. The centerpiece of this area, chiseled within the natural alcoves of the towering limestone cliffs. Named in the 1860s by European settlers upon its discovery, Montezuma Castle stands as a monument to the Sinagua's ingenuity and time here. The Sinagua, whose name derives from the Spanish words for without water, are aptly named, and experts at irrigation and water conservation, originating from the ancient migrations of their Pueblo ancestors, the same people who created the Cliff Palace in Colorado. They settle in the Verde Valley, an oasis of biodiversity amidst the arid landscape. And here, this 5-story cliff dwelling serves not just as a home, but as a fortress against the elements and foreign invaders. Historical records suggest that at its peak, this dwelling housed between 30 to 50 people, an example of the capacity and social organization of the Sinagua. Daily life here is a blend of agriculture, craftsmanship, and community rituals. They cultivate corn, beans, and squash on the fertile floodplains of the Verde River, supplementing their diet with local wildlife and other foraged edibles. Artisans among them craft pottery and weave textiles, items often traded with neighboring tribes, indicating an extremely vast network of exchange and cultural interactions. In fact, Dr. Emily Brown, a renowned anthropologist, notes that the exchange networks established by the Sinagua were crucial to their survival and cultural richness, extending as far as the Pacific coast and Mesoamerica. The worldview they've curated here is a tapestry of earth and sky, a belief system that sees humans not as distinctive, but as stewards of the living world. However, life here is not without its challenges. Periods of drought and resource scarcity test their resilience and adaptability. These hardships occasionally compel them to modify living strategies, leading to innovations in water management and food storage. The Sinagua's eventual departure from Montezuma Castle in the early 1400s remains shrouded in mystery, with mainstream theories suggesting that a mega drought made their traditional ways of life untenable, forcing them to leave behind their cliff dwellings as silent sentries to their once vibrant presence. These structures, now preserved by the arid climate, continue to tell a story of a people adept in the art of living with the land, and today invites thousands of visitors annually, offering a glimpse into the past through the enduring legacy of these mysterious people.
Damn. Alright, let me see you.
Crazy landscape. Roughly 5 miles northeast of Montezuma Castle, amidst the desert landscapes of Arizona's Verde Valley, lies Montezuma Well. The well, a crucial hub for the Sinagua people from as early as 600 AD, though its most significant period of use aligning with the occupation of Montezuma Castle. It's a natural limestone sinkhole that served as a life-sustaining oasis for over 1,000 years. The unique geological formation created by the collapse of a large underground cavern and taps into the Earth's sources and wells up to create a constant supply of water, a rare and vital resource in this desert region. The well's water at a constant temperature of about 74 degrees Fahrenheit and holds extremely high levels of carbon dioxide, making it not suitable for drinking, but rather was ingeniously used for the irrigation of crops. The Sinagua developed a sophisticated system of ditches and canals, some of which are still visible today, that channeled this life-giving water to their corn, beans, and squash. The presence of this natural reservoir made the well a focal point for not only the Sinagua, but also other neighboring groups in the area. It became a crossroads of cultures, where the Hohokam, Yavapai, and later Apache and European settlers would converge, interact, and exchange goods and ideas. These interactions enriched the culture, introducing new artifacts, technologies, and botanical specimens into their community, evidence of which is found in the diverse artifacts recovered from archaeological digs around the well. The well itself measures approximately 370 feet across, with cliffs towering 55 feet high, and encloses a pool that discharges more than 1.5 million gallons of water each day. According to archaeologist Peter Pills, this remarkable feature not only supports human habitation and agriculture, but also fosters a very unique ecological environment. Its water supporting species found nowhere else in the world, such as the Montezuma Well leech, the water scorpion, and the mud turtle. Culturally, the well likely held spiritual significance for the Sinagua, and historian John Steinbeck once remarked on the site's timelessness, suggesting that Montezuma Well invites contemplation on the natural cycles of water and life, a reflection of the world's ancient heart. And as we explored the well, we were walking through a living museum of hydrology, geology, and human endeavor. The site encapsulating the ingenuity of an ancient people, harnessing their resources and adapting to their environment, and adds even more to an enduring legacy that echoes through the canyons and mesas of the American Southwest.
If you ask me what my favorite part is, the cliff dwellings are pretty cool, but there's a duck down at the pond, and we've been watching him dive the whole time, probably to get some of the leeches I mentioned, but he's just swimming, living his best life. And there's our timer.
As we leave the verdant embrace of Montezuma Well, a mere 20 miles northwest brings us to Tuzigoot National Monument, an architectural ambition and societal complexity of the Sinagua people. Perched atop a limestone and sandstone ridge near the confluence of the Verde and Oak Creek rivers, Tuzigoot serves as another striking example of the Sinagua's expansive reach and their intricate network of communities across Arizona. Constructed between 1100 and 1450 AD, it's an example of a pueblo comprising of over 100 rooms, including second and third story structures. Unlike the secluded cliff dwellings of Montezuma Castle, Tuzigoot was built on open ground, its walls and rooms rising impressively against the sky, suggesting its role as a major community center for the Sinagua. The strategic location of Tuzigoot on a hilltop not only provided the Sinagua with extensive views of the surrounding landscapes, but also enabled them to manage their agricultural pursuits efficiently. The fertile floodplain supported by the nearby rivers made this area one of the great agricultural hubs of the Sinagua civilization, helping sustain a large population, complex social structures, and trade networks. Archaeologists have uncovered numerous grinding stones and storage pits here. Historian Douglas Schwartz, in his comprehensive study on the Sinagua, noted that artifacts such as turquoise, shell jewelry, and parrot feathers from as far away as Central America were found here. Its construction reflects the Sinagua's advanced understanding of their environment, utilizing these locally sourced materials and adapting their architectural techniques to meet the challenges of their landscape. The larger rooms and communal areas suggest an organized community with a deep spiritual connection to the land, as evidenced by artifacts that indicate ritualistic practices. And as the sun sits above Tuzigoot's ruins, we're reminded that the Sinagua architectural feats speak of a civilization deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the earth and sky. Yet, the story of the Sinagua does not end here. A short journey eastward brings us to Walnut Canyon National Monument, where the Sinagua also left behind another set of dwellings, these carved into the canyon's steep cliffs, offering us yet another perspective of this remarkable culture's adaptability and resilience.
Sinagua? I think Sinagua?
Yeah.
It's crazy that we're an hour by car north of where we were and the other places near Montezuma Castle, and it's the same people. Like, that's a really far walk. He laid the foundation of the National Park Service, defining and establishing the policies under which its areas shall be developed and conserved unimpaired for the future of generations. There will never come an end to the good that he has done. Out of all the cliff dwellings we've been to, this is our favorite because the dwellings are everywhere. There's some over there. There's like 3 or 4 over there. Like this one specifically, you can see they're just everywhere over here. That's what's really cool about the Walnut Canyon one.
So sick.
I remember that being my favorite part last time we were here too. Jimmy and I were here about 4 or 5 years ago at this point. At that point, we had just kind of began dating, and we came here after he got his elk, and we came here and we thought it was the coolest thing ever. So coming back here now with like 2 dogs, choosing to travel, selling our house, living together, married, it's just like a really serene moment, and it's just as cool as I remember it. I mean, look how beautiful it is.
Walnut Canyon was a crucial site for the Sinagua, particularly from 1100 to 1250 AD. The dwellings here, among the cliffs and over 350 feet above the canyon floor, showcase a remarkable use of vertical space and span about 20 miles within the canyons themselves. Numbering over 80 within the canyon, the cliff dwellings were accessed by ladders and paths carved into the rock and organized to maximize space and functionality. The location here allowed the Sinagua to develop a thriving community based on agriculture, utilizing the canyon's seasonal stream runoffs to cultivate crops on the rim. The formal recognition and preservation of Sinagua sites like this began in the early 20th century, largely driven by the conservation ethos of leaders like Theodore Roosevelt. The establishment of national monuments to protect these sites was further supported by the efforts of the Civilian Conservation Corps, or the CCC, during the 1930s. A story worth telling in its own, the CCC was a beacon of President Roosevelt's New Deal policies and played a critical role in excavating, stabilizing, and making accessible many of these ancient dwellings.
You can see more right across over there.
Today, these sites are managed by the National Park Service, who continues to uphold the mission of conservation and education here. And ongoing archaeological research and advancements in preservation technology help to ensure that the legacy of the Sinagua and the remarkable achievements continue to inspire visitors from around the world.
I like this one. This is my house. I get dibs.
Visitors who to this day are amazed at the ingenuity of these people. People who communicated across the deep canyons by day or night using fire signals, utilizing the rising heat from within their cliff homes to talk as the smoke was ventilated through peepholes at the top of every shelter, using smoke signals by day or flickering of the fire by night to send messages. The enduring saga of the Sinagua people spans several centuries over many locations. They flourished from about 700 to 1400 AD, and their legacy immortalized in the structures they left behind. Structures that have withstood the harsh Arizona environment for over 600 years since their mysterious departure. And the theories about that departure are as varied as they are fascinating. Some scholars, like Dr. Helen Fairchild, suggest prolonged droughts push the Sinagua to migrate in search of more hospitable lands, while others focus on social strife or depletion of natural resources, and point to that being the factor that drove them to integrate with neighboring cultures such as the Hopi or the Zuni, whose traditions and bloodlines carry echoes of Sinagua heritage. But ultimately, Katie and I believe the explanation may be even simpler. Their traditional way of life amid each other ended as quickly as it began. Perhaps fleeting in the timelines of history, but for many people who inhabited these dwellings, home can be anywhere. It isn't this cliff or that canyon. It's not the most fortified or the most accessible. It's where your loved ones are that determines what you call home. History may not have a formal explanation for their disappearance, and that's because they never truly faded away. These people went on to things greater and grander than just a migratory set of homes in the American Southwest. And it's evidenced by the fact that when we see what they left behind, it feels familiar. A place of your own, out in the wilderness, but not on your own. That's the real story of the Sinagua. A people who, against all odds and calamities, persisted and went on day after day with each other, for each other.
If you like this video, let us know in the comments. Be sure to give us a subscribe or turn on the notification bell to get updated on our new videos coming out. Katie and I, she's behind the camera right now, are trying to do more documentary style explorations of the places we visit, and we want to get the channel growing as much as possible, and people like you are the ones who help us do that. We appreciate it as we do our best to live up to our name of Scenic Drifters.